Hey guys, so as many of you know, the whole Astroworld incident, me and a friend of mine were actually involved. Obviously, all family and friends and everybody that's pretty much been following this thing on social media that know me, they know that I was involved, she was involved. I kind of just wanted to come on here and do a little brief. I'll try to keep it brief. I mean, there's just so much that happened. And there's so much that I still don't remember that happened, and I'll get into that later. But I kind of just want to do a brief breakdown of kind of just how everything unfolded, and unfortunately the experience that me and her had to go through. Um, it was crazy just to be a part of something that you're literally hearing about on every social media platform. You're hearing about from every single news network, and I mean, shit like that is just crazy to me, because I never thought that would, be the subject. But basically, what happened with me and her, I wanted to keep it more on my side just because that's her business, and I'm not going to go into her details. I'll try to keep it very brief. But it was just a horrific thing to go through. Everything that you guys heard of, everything that you guys have seen, the stampeding of people, the trampling, the walking over, walking on, the hitting, the yelling, screaming, crying, it was true and just way worse in person. It did start pretty early. I don't even remember honestly the time, but I did know that I have a video, and it's the second song of his performance, so you're talking 9:10 or some shit. And that's when everything really just broke. It just collapsed, at least where I was at, and I was pretty close to the stage. We were both close. We were within maybe 100 feet of the stage. For anybody that's ever been to one of these huge music festivals like I have, like at Rolling Loud and Day in Vegas and other ones, being 100 feet from the stage is really close. If you're up there 100 feet, you're not gonna get out. You're locked in for that time being, and trying to get out, I mean, it's a hellhole no matter what happens. Which obviously made matters way worse in this instance. But what was crazy is that, once the show started, the energy was already there. I've been to all these other big festivals. If you know me, if you've been following my social medias and stuff, you've seen over the years that I've been around the country. I've been to these bigger festivals that had way more attendance. The energy's always been there. It's a concert, especially for a Travis Scott concert. I mean, you know what you're exactly gonna get. You're gonna get rage, you're gonna get fucking hype, you're gonna get crowd surfing, jumping, everything. It's part of the reason why I really wanted to go. Just obviously escalated way more than what anybody I think could have thought. Basically what it was is that once the show started, we're already all crammed. And if you've ever been to a real concert, a real big festival, being in the mosh pits area, you're already signing up for being suffocated. You're not to the point where you're gonna die, but you're squished, you're huddled in, you're gonna be constantly swaying with the crowd. People are gonna hit you, bump you, shoulder check you. It's just, that's what you're signing up for, the sweat, the everything. So it's that's something that I knew was already gonna happen, in my experience at least. I knew that I was already coming, and I was signing up for that, being that close at least. And but the thing is that what was really scary, that I noticed right away, was that, so once the pushing and shoving started, and you see people fall down, right? All these other festivals I've ever been to, of everything I've ever experienced, whenever I've seen that before, people fall down, people get pushed up against barriers or railings, whatever they have set in place. You usually have hella people push back. You have people say, hey, somebody's on the ground, and you got 10 people helping them up. In this instance, and at this crowd with this energy, didn't go that way. it actually went the opposite. What it was is that if you fell, or if you see multiple people fall down, you just got walked over. It's like you were in empty space and that you could just move forward. And, you know, as soon as I realized that, that was just like, okay, this is getting way out of hand. And it was quick. I'm talking, guys, under a minute to 2 minutes maybe. This is how quick it was that you just start seeing fucking people just fall and fall and fall, and nobody was helping them up. You know, you could hear people try to help, push back, move, like people, you know, people are like, hold on, somebody's on the ground and stuff. But, you know, again, you're at a concert, it's loud, there's smoke, fire, you know, in the air, it's dark, it's light, like it's so crazy, there's so much going on that, like, you know, anybody's plea for help that was falling, like, you kind of did disregard it. You didn't hear them, you didn't see them. Your eyes are up, your eyes aren't down. And so that was terrifying, you know, seeing so many people, you know, big, small, heavy, not heavy. You know, and if you guys know me, I'm a small dude. I'm like 5'1", 5'2". I don't weigh much, and you know, to see people like smaller than me and even bigger than me be going down, it was just like, oh shoot, like this is fucking crazy. And you know, it just escalated. You know, as it started going, you know, you started seeing more and more piles up of people. It wasn't just people falling, it started becoming literally like the stampeding, where people are just falling on top of people, and you're talking people are on the ground with 3 people on top of them. And it actually sucks because I became one of those people. I got pushed into one of the, like, I guess you call pile-ups, and I want to say I had like 2 or 3 people on me. I don't know their weight, I don't know what they even look like, but they were on me. Man, it was fucking scary. I don't know, I don't wish that on anybody, to experience like the feeling of having people literally on you. But you know, the positions that like they put me in, like I remember I was bent back like this, you know, I had people laying on me, and you know, nobody heard me. You know, I was trying to say like get off and stuff, and nobody heard me. So, you know, my next instinct was like, I gotta push him, or so I just started punching like as hard as I could. I started kicking, pushing, like I was doing as much as I could, because I was like, with them being on me, it was, and obviously what is it called, like the heat and the exhaustion just coming in, like it was terrible. You know, I was under 2 for like, I want to say like, I don't know, like maybe a song or 2. Like it was that fucking long. It was like 5-6 minutes, like people were on me. And you know, it was scary because like obviously running through my mind, I was like, am I even gonna get out? Is like anybody even gonna hear me, or am I just gonna be forgotten? And just piled on again. So basically it was just terrible to experience that. You know, eventually what's very lucky is that somehow, by like, I don't even know, like I don't know how, but I was able to get out. I don't remember much, like if the person got off of me or somebody pulled me out, but I was able to get out. And as soon as I got back on my feet, you know, it was so much worse. Like from when I went down and there was maybe like 2 pops around me. As soon as I got up and I was able to get on my feet, everywhere, like front, back, center, like everywhere was just people piling up on people panicking, people screaming, yelling. You know, people like they were looking at me and saying like, grab my hand, bro, like I don't want to die. You know, there's people telling me, you know, move, like it was all just panic. It was fucking crazy. You know, and at that point I realized too that like shit, I was alone. And what I mean by that is I went with a friend and I didn't know where she was. I didn't even know what happened. You know, like we just separated. Just imagine that, you know, and like all those people, I don't care if it was 5,000, 10,000, 50,000, like I was just alone and I did not know where she was. I was obviously scared. I was thinking, what happened to her? Is she even alive anymore? You know, like I was just so scared, and I realized I was like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. like as quick as I can. And you know, it's one of those things that you don't ever expect, but you're just like, holy shit, you're in a life or death situation. And what I mean by that is like, guys, I literally just said like I was piled on top of. People did not hear me. People were on me. I was like honestly struggling to breathe. And like, fuck, I got out somehow, but I don't know how. I very well couldn't have. So at that point, I kind of just made an effort. I was like, I gotta get out of here no matter what, you know? And it's crazy to me to think that like, through all those people, like, I remember times where I'd be walking, right? And I didn't know where I was going. I didn't even know like kind of the direction. I was just trying to move. And, you know, everywhere I was walking, you know, I was just honestly pushing people, you know, and I know you want to be a part of the solution in these like big like areas and like big areas like panic and trouble, but guys, the only solution was to get the fuck out of there. You know, and it sucks knowing that like you really had to be like survival of the fittest and put your life before somebody else's, no matter, you know, if there was a female, a male, young or old. Like, that's fucking terrible. You know, having to think that like I said, I was pushing people, I was, you know, moving people out of the way. I was you know, I was trying to like climb on people, and you know, it might be funny to some people to hear that I was climbing on people, just all that shit, but let's be real here. If you were higher up, you had a better chance, because if you were on the ground, if you got knocked to the ground, you're fucking done. Like, it was that serious. You know, I was doing everything I could, and I remember like going through every single like wave of like people, and just once you got through like 10 feet of people, there was more pile-ups and then more pile-ups, and I'm not talking 5 people, guys. I'm talking 15, 20 people easily just piled on top of each other, just, and you're talking spread out 10 feet this way, 10 feet that way, people pushing people, like, it was ridiculous. And it was scary because like every time you came across one of those pile-ups, every time you came across one of them, you know, there was no going around it. You couldn't just move your way around them. Like, you had to go through it. And that's fucking scary to think that like, dude, all it took was somebody, you know, because there were people. I have bruises and scratches on my legs and I don't even know where they're from. And I hope it's not, but like, I do remember little times where people would be grabbing your hand, like a graveyard, like people coming out from the grounds, like people were grabbing your legs, they were scratching. I don't know if it was to grab your legs to like, you know, get your attention, or scratch your legs to get your attention that they're down there, or to just try to get themselves up. Like, people were doing everything they could. You know, and it was scary. Like, every person's eyes you looked into that you came across, you know, it's just, you're looking literally like into their soul, and we're just all afraid. We're all scared. We all know we need to get out of there, but we also all know that like, dude, we can't fall. Like, you can't fall, otherwise you're gonna get piled on. You're gonna get suffocated. Honestly, you're gonna die. Like, it was that bad. I keep saying that because it's like, it really was that bad. And it's just crazy to think that like, that was at a concert, you know? Like, I remember times when I was walking through, and like I said, let me remind you guys, I was like 100 feet from the stage, and I had to walk far through this fucking crowd. Like, I can show pictures. I'll put some pictures on the side here, but of where I was and where I had to get out. And I didn't know that. Like, I was just going and going until I was gonna hit a barrier, because I was like, I gotta get out. That was the only way to get out, like jump a barrier or some shit, you know, where security would be at. You know, I remember coming across, like I said, coming across like people, and you know, there was this one time that I came across one of these pile-ups, and I was trying to make my way through it, and this guy, he was like not much bigger than me, you know, maybe 5'5" or some shit. He like wrapped around me like in a chokehold position, and he was just pulling me, and you know, he was screaming in my ear like, don't let me go, bro, like, I don't want to die, like, I don't want to die, don't let me go. And like, he just kept screaming that, like, don't let go, don't let go. And, you know, this is one of the things I fucking hate to say, but just like the pushing and the shoving, when it came to that, I remember hitting him, and like I was elbowing him like as hard as I could, like that. And, you know, I don't know what I was hitting. I wasn't looking back at him, but I was hitting like anything from this and up. And I was just, you know, as fast and as hard as I could. I don't know how many times I probably hit this man. And it just kills me, honestly, guys, like, to think about that. But the reason I was doing that was because every single time I would try to move forward, he'd just keep holding harder, and like he was choking me, honestly. And I knew that like he was gonna bring me down. I was gonna fall into a pile up again. And I obviously know, like, him being scared, everything going on, he was just only gonna hold on to me, and he probably would have choked me. And I had to do what I had to do, you know? I hate to say that, but I did. I don't know what happened to him. He eventually let go of me. But I don't know what happened to him. I didn't look back. You didn't want to look back at that point. You just wanted to keep moving forward, because every time you stopped, like, you literally put your life at risk. You know, every time you stopped, there was an opportunity that like somebody would push you, or somebody would, you know, grab onto you, or, you know, it was just terrifying, to be honest. You know, and I remember times where there was times where, you know, I don't remember stepping on like concrete. I was just stepping on people. You know, it could have been their shins, could have been their ankles, their legs, could have been, you know, I remember looking down very little, like seconds, like looking down, and, you know, you seen literally heads. And yeah, I just hope I didn't step on anybody. I mean, I didn't obviously mean to, but like, it was that bad, guys. It was guys, girls, like everything. You know, what's crazy to me is just like, I remember I was looking at set times of like musics, because I've been looking on videos on like YouTube of how long, I've been trying to like see how long I was in there. And, you know, obviously you're at a concert, you could still hear like the music in the background. You know, I remember hearing certain songs when I was closer to the barriers that like were at like 48 minutes into the show. And that shit just like, what? Like, everything went down to like the second song, and 48 minutes later, I'm still fighting my way up. Like, that's fucking crazy to me. You know, and I don't know why it took that long for me to get there. I know that's kind of stupid to say, but like, it's crazy how far you had to go to get out. And even then, what you had to do to get out, what you had to see to get out. I remember hearing people literally cry, like begging people to help me up. Like, I don't want to die. You know, like my leg's stuck, you know, somebody's under me, you know, because of the heat and everything going on. You know, I've been to all these concerts, and, you know, that's kind of just something you sign up for. And also being in Texas, you know, Houston, you know, it's hot, but, you know, with everybody panicking and stuff, like, that's obviously not helping the heat. You know, the heat exhaustion is like really coming in, because you're just like, you're breathing fast, you can't breathe, everything you are breathing is hot ass air because of all the flames and smoke and the cameras, and, you know, obviously people are smoking, so there's smoke. I mean, it's just, it was so much going on. It's just crazy though, you know, think about like what could have happened, you know. It's just crazy that like during all of it, you know, being alone, and literally like every person you're coming across, like, you don't know them, you know, they're obviously somebody's kid, but like at that point you're just kind of like, your life is worth more, you know. You know, all I was thinking was I need to get out so I can get home, so I can find my friend, you know, so I can, you know, live, because it was that bad. And you know, I remember times like closer to the barrier, like literally it was ridiculous. You had people literally pulling like unconscious bodies out, and, you know, right next to them is a stampede. Just like, it was everywhere. The cries, you know, everything. Like, I remember coming across like this one girl, like she was hyperventilating, and you know, in the midst of all that, I still try to help her, because like I like grabbed her and I was like on her, like I grabbed her shoulders and I was like, hey, like look up and like breathe, you know, because like she did not know what the fuck was going on, and she was, I don't know, I don't remember what happened to her, because that after I did that, I kept going, because like I said, you can't stop, and I don't know what happened to her. It was just terrible, you know, not even realizing like what it was actually happening. Like, people were dying, people were literally getting resuscitated. You know, I know it's not like a school shooting or something, but guys, I promise you, you don't want to be there. And for anybody that wants to joke about this, like, please don't, because it was not funny. You know, there's other things I don't really want to speak on that like I did to people, just because, you know, those acts were inhumane in my opinion, and that kind of breaks my heart that I did that, but I had to. I mean, anybody would have. You know, everybody can talk about like what wasn't planned, what wasn't taken care of well, you know. To me, I'm not really angry at anybody. I'm really actually grateful that me and my friend were able to make it home, you know, because I don't care about the shit that I lost in the midst of all of it, you know, the money, anything that I lost. I don't, it's not worth more than my life. You know, it's just terrifying to know that people didn't make it out of there, and I hope those people that did die, like, that they're resting well, because it's unfortunate, you know. It's scary to think that, like, that literally could have been me. You know, I'm making this video solely for the purpose that, like, I don't want to tell this story a million times. I know people are concerned, but then I also know people just want to know because they're nosy. And I'm sorry if that offends anybody, but it's true. You know, for the people that have told me that, you know, I shouldn't be talking, and that I need to just stop acting like I'm gonna get like famous and get like trying to gain clout from this, like, you know, that's your opinion. I mean, it's sad that that's your opinion, but I can't do anything about it. But I just hope, like I said, that like from this, you know, I just hope that it's a learning experience for everybody. You know, this isn't gonna stop me from going to concerts. Like, you know, that's honestly an escape for me from, you know, my daily troubles. So I won't stop. It's just, it is an eye-opener that, you know, some places you do gotta be really aware of like the shit going on. You know, this is just obviously one of those times that I didn't expect it to go that way. So I could talk like for hours on this. I could say so many things I heard and seen. I could give you guys more details. It just happened, and I'm grateful again to be alive, because it's very, very easy for me not to be right now. So, you know, that's kind of, I know it's a long breakdown. It's 23 minutes or 24 minutes, whatever it was. I'm sorry, I try to keep it short. But yeah, there's just a lot that went down, and I just hope like all you guys respect the fact that, like, you know, I'm very, very still in pain. You know, I suffered concussion. I have a bunch of internal bruising in my chest and my back, lower, upper, everywhere, my shoulders, my knees. Like, my friend of mine, she's got it way worse. Yeah, it was bad. But, I mean, we'll make it through. And that's the biggest thing about it, is that we still have the opportunity to. But, you know, for everybody, like, asking and stuff, you know, like I said, I appreciate all you guys' concern. Everybody that reached out, I appreciate all y'all. You know, and that, let's just hope that none of this ever really happens again. You know, it's not. I don't really know how to end this other than the fact that like that was my experience.